I feel like I've been in a lot of drama.
You're extra, you're loud, you're unapologetic.
Well, thank you.
Nicki Minaj versus Cardi B. Two rap queens back at war, hurling insults over lyrics, album sales, Cardi's babies, some barbecue ribs, even Barney the dinosaur.
This sounds exciting.
So, who's the drama?
Oh my God. That's a great question.
Well, it takes two to tango. Here's Nicki and Cardi's latest social media battle explained.
Two.
This time, it starts with Nicki.
Oh, I get it. They painted me out to be the bad guy.
On Monday, she shared this now deleted dollar amount, $4.99. Why is that important? Well, it's the promotional price of Cardi's new album, Am I the Drama, on iTunes, which sold 200,000 album equivalent units in the first week.
Oh, snappity snap snap.
If you did my numbers, y'all will pop champagne.
Nicki then clowns Cardi's so-called basic verses, calling her Barney Dangerous and mocking her new hit Magnet.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, these can me.
Yeah, Cardi raps the alphabet, so Nicki does too, with her own twist, labeling the Grammy winner a barefoot and smelly liar with a big belly. Remember, Cardi's currently expecting baby number 4.
Well, yes, I am. I'm having a baby with my boyfriend, Stefan Diggs.
Of course, who don't want that? You know what I'm saying? Duh.
Still with us? Because this is where Cardi comes in with a picture of her dinner.
Like, oh, I got a whole lot of to talk about.
Yeah, she says, I was really baking ribs and making blondie brownies, and here come this bothering me on a damn Monday. Her comeback? Well, Cardi roasts cocaine Barbie for allegedly scrambling her reproductive eggs with painkillers before the birth of her son. She even calls out Nicki's brother, who was convicted of child rape in 2017.
Oh, shoot, wait a minute.
And finally, Cardi brings it all back to where it started, the new album. She blasts Nicki for even bringing it up, adding, quote, "You need to compare yourself to your peers that started around your time. I was in high school when you came out. What the is you comparing yourself to me for?"
That's just not me. I'm a grown woman too, you know. So as a grown woman, I feel like I should do and say what I want.
This isn't the first time Nicki and Cardi have feuded publicly. In 2018, it came to blows when an ET eyewitness saw Cardi throw her shoe at Nicki during a party at New York Fashion Week.
You already know we back, bro. We back, y'all. We live. We are live. Listen, Cardi B blasts Nicki Minaj over the album sales. This caused the stir. It's most definitely caused a big stir online. We already see that we're dealing with that, as well as Diddy in big trouble on sentencing on October 3rd. Is Diddy in big trouble when it comes to sentencing time on October 3rd, which is Friday? That's another big thing that we're dealing with. Salute to everybody in the building. You already know the vibe. We here. We rocking out. I'm going to go into a quick little breakdown. I read the victim impact statements yesterday from Diddy, and we still got the government's memorandum. You know what I mean? That's 100 and I think like the pages I've downloaded is 189 pages to the sentencing memorandum, and that's what the government is trying to push for Diddy. You know what I mean? And we understand that the government is trying to push for 11 years. You know what I mean? Actually, 11 and a quarter years. You know what I mean? They're trying to push for Diddy. You know, I think that seems like a reality for Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's 10, whether it's 9, whether it's 5, I think all the numbers are a reality. You know what I mean? Some people may think that the impact statements are not that good or whatever the case may be. I went into Sylvia's chat yesterday, infamous Sylvia, and she was saying, nah, you know, I'm pro Diddy. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what the hell's going on. But all I'm saying is based on the victim impact statements, and I think that based on the impact statements, I think that everybody that spoke, whether Cassie, be it Mia, be it Deontay Nash, or anybody else that spoke on it, I think that they spoke in a way, whether they wrote this or not, whether they got help writing this or not, it was written in a way that had more vitriol, had more than when they were at the trial. Honestly, and I'm being totally honest. You know what I mean? It really was. And what all the letters had in common was that They all asked the judge to not let Diddy out, to think of the community, to one person, do it for us, do it for justice. Everybody was ending all of their victim impact statements with those type of things. So that's putting a lot of pressure on Judge Iran. You know what I mean? I really feel that he's under a lot of pressure, you know what I mean, from the very beginning of this trial. This is a very, very big case, regardless of the fact whether you think on this side or that side, this is a big case. And that man right there, he has a job on his hands right now. You know what I mean? Because now we understand that maybe some people from the past has not been charged with this, and if they were, they didn't get that much time. So we understand that as well. But I think that he has to set a precedent. I think that that's how he feels. I think he feels that he has to set a precedent with this case. I think that he's under a lot of pressure. We already understand who pays his bills, not Diddy, him. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. And throughout this whole thing, it seems that he's been siding more with the prosecution. You know what I'm saying? The defense have been pushing for stuff. He has been denying everything. You know what I mean? Diddy is guilty of 2 counts, regardless of the fact if you think whatever, he's guilty of 2 counts. We understand that these 2 counts can run 10 and 10, whether concurrent or consecutive. And yeah, man, I'm just really looking forward to see what the hell's going to happen come sentencing day. But you know what I mean? Cardi B. Cardi B and Nicki going in it, man. I don't be knowing too much, man. I be seeing what's going on and shit like that. So I'm gonna tap into one of my sources, and she gonna understand it, explain it to me. You know what I'm saying? She gonna explain it to us. So let me screen share this. Gotta tap into my source, homie. You know what I'm saying? Gotta tap into my guns, bruh. You know what I mean? So shout out to my girl Nick at night. You already know the vibes. Okay, stop playing with me. And I'm gonna have Nick on the channel. Me and Nick gonna be doing some shit. It's dope. Watch your mouth. Thank you. Who is not a chaser? Know it. So yeah, let's get into Nick breakdown. Let's see what Nick talking about, because Nick know what the fuck going on. And Nick ain't never played. So look, let's get to that.
Things are turning up on X between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Now, there has been some subliminals since Cardi B's announcement of her Am I the Drama hitting the stores, the stats of what her album sales were, if she was going to outsell Nicki Minaj, and so on and so forth. Now, the day that the numbers came out about how many sales Cardi B made first week, Nicki Minaj started to basically subtweet to let people know that nobody has taken her title. So the album stats came through, and it looks like she made about 200,000 sales first week. Now, up until her album coming out, there was a lot of shit talking from Cardi B. There was a lot of talking about how she was going to outsell all of the girls. Now, she didn't name Nicki Minaj outright and say, I'm going to outsell Nicki, but she made an implication on several occasions that she was going to outsell Nicki. Now that her sales have come out, Cardi B is kind of pulling back and trying to play like, oh, well, I never said that I was going to outsell you. Like, why you on my body? And it's like, let's be honest. Both of you guys are in competition with each other. Cardi B is in competition with Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj is in competition with Cardi B. Now, there are several other rap girls, but a lot of rap girls are not making it in their kind of caliber. Nicki Minaj has a cult-like following called the Barbs, and in her cult of her fan base, she can do no wrong. A lot of the stuff that she does, they uphold it, they make excuses for it, and they think that it's okay. Same with Cardi. She has a cult-like following called Barty Gang, and a lot of her fans make excuses for her. They think that she can do no wrong, and they uplift her. One thing that they both have in common is that they are ambiguous looking women. Now, Cardi B is not black, no matter how many times she tries to throw Afro-Caribbean in there. She's not black to me. However, she is a person that appeals to a diverse crowd. She tells y'all that she's Afro, whatever, so that she can say the N-word and y'all can feel like she's one of the girls. And she gets support from Black women, Hispanic women, and all different types of women. Now, Nicki Minaj, I would say, is a Black woman, but she also has, similar to Cardi B, that ambiguous appeal and that ambiguous look that appeals to all people. She appeals to the LGBT. She appeals to Black, white, yellow, Asian, Hispanic. Like, she appeals to all. And because they have this ambiguous look, they're able to get away with a lot, but they also are able to get a lot of support without holding them accountable for a lot of the things that they have. So therefore, they are the two top females that get put against each other, because unfortunately, the other girls that have any more melanin in them, or even light skin, not ambiguous, or anybody that is darker shade or whatever, even though they may have a.
First of all, shout out to Nick. Nick going into some, you know what I mean? I came for the, she breaking the shit down, phenotype and all type of shit. So shout out to Nick, because Nick just went to the next place. But yeah, man, when we think about Cardi and Nicki, man, you know what I'm saying? We understand with this album as well that a couple of records was put back on this, which was supposed to certify it platinum. I expected it to even sell more. We understood that. I know Nicki's laughing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I know Nicki's laughing because the things that Cardi was doing to promote it, she was on trains, she was out there. This is why the promotion that she was doing was pretty smart, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you. She was out there getting to it. We already seen Cardi speak about even her past albums, even like during the trial, her last recent trial, when she was talking about, you know what I mean, when she was pregnant at the time of her first album, she didn't want this to like mess up her career. And you just see how she thinks about her career and how she feels about her album. Look, it took her how many years to drop this album? And you can see how hard she was going out, pushing it. She was on trains, man. She was outside. She was coming up with different kinds of ways to promote, which I think she opened people's eyes and people's minds how to promote some music. I think that she went to a next little level, straight up. A lot of people was not doing that. She was, I'm telling you, especially when she popped up on the train and all that type of stuff, selling the CDs, and she was out there like with physical copies, doing a couple of things that was viral with actual physical copies and things like that. See what I'm saying? Like she's selling CDs. So I think that whole thing was a good thing. And she was even pushing CDs, the vinyls and the CDs as well, not just the digital streams. She was actually pushing for real hard copy sales. So maybe she sells the 200, who knows? But how many of that can she sell that's hard copies? In a day like today, we don't buy hard copy nothings no more. To buy a hard copy something, it'd have to be like a relic, like that kind of an album. Let's say like a great artist from back in the days coming to drop an album right now. So you want to have it and you buy it like a souvenir type thing, you know what I mean? And you keep it. See what I'm saying? Yeah, you got the album, but you're going to keep the album because it's like a, you know what I mean? So I think that was good. I think that was good on Cardi's part, regardless of the fact, man, she 200, to even do 200 in a time like now in the climate now in music, bro, is difficult, bro. It's difficult. Everybody's not doing that. Some of the top artists are not doing 200. They're not doing 100. Come on. Meek Mill learned the harsh reality of that. Okay. When he was doing 200s before, Meek was doing 200 and change, bro. He did like 200 and he got to his mind and he was like that. That's when he got into the thing with Drake and all that other stuff, bro. And he thought that it couldn't happen. But then look, his next album flopped. You know what I'm saying? In his eyes, it flopped. You would have thought that his next album would do 100 and change 200 and it didn't. See what I'm saying? Which led to academic beefing with him. So we understand that it's hard to maintain that type of trajectory, especially in this industry, especially now when music is faster. There's so many artists coming out, younger artists coming out. There's a lot going on. So for me, it's shout out to Cardi and Nicki to be still relevant right now. You know what I'm saying? Nicki for real, because Nicki's still relevant, but she needs to do more music and shit like that. But Nicki always finds a way to keep herself relevant. She always finds a way to keep herself in conversations on some podcast, Joe Buttons or something. She just have a knack for that, regardless if she's doing music or not. See what I'm saying? Cardi been out the way. And this is what we're dealing with now. You know, but shout out to the both of them, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't really pin them both against each other. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Cardi, you know, we know that Nicki write bars. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if people have helped Nicki to do anything, we understand that Nicki writes bars. You know what I'm saying? Cardi B on the other end, you know what I mean? We understand Partisan Fontaine and people like that help Cardi to write the music that she's writing and doing. Yeah, she might come up with something. But also when it comes to flowing wise, you know what I'm saying? It's like something that's more square about Cardi's flow than like how Nicki more like is like this, her flow. See what I'm saying? When Cardi's rapping, sometimes it be kind of like an offbeat and it be kind of like, you know what I mean? Like broken up in a way, you know what I'm saying? Because you can see how she's flowing the records. Just realistically, I'm just telling, not from a hating perspective, just realistically, when you listen to Cardi flow, When you listen to Nicki flow, it's different. You know what I mean? It's different. But Cardi was able to achieve all the things that she did, you know what I mean, without having to be able to write music, without having to do all of that. You know what I mean? And what came with that is personality and character type shit, like personality traits. You know what I mean? Everybody fell in love with Cardi for her personality, for just who she was. You know what I'm saying? Just regular, just down to earth. And she keeps that same spirit, regardless of what and all these things that she's going through. She still keep that same vibe, even in the court. Remember, she was in the court. She's sleeping. She falling asleep. I'm like, what? Where we at? YSL trial? She in there falling asleep like Trevante Stevens or Bug or Woody or something. I'm like, what the hell? So you see that she still got that vibe. And I think that shit is just going to keep carrying her. You know what I mean? And I think that's what keeps carrying her, is that she's mad relatable. She's just super relatable. You know what I mean? Nicki's a person that she could be relatable if she wants to be, but she has this more of a queen type of aura. That's how she bopping it. You know what I'm saying? That's just how she rocking it. So some people going to get with it or they not. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how she's pushing it. So she don't really care to be down, to be cool and all that. You know what I'm saying? So Nicki's just that type of person. But yeah, man. I think that Nicki and Cardi need to do music. They need to do a song. I think they should do an album together. Straight. I think they should do an album together. It'd be one of the most impactful albums in hip hop history. Straight cheese. It's gonna outsell everybody, damn near everybody that ever dropped an album, son. They're gonna be in competition with Michael Jackson and them niggas. Straight. Beatles. Straight. So that's how come we got to stop the dumb shit and stop the penning that shit against each other. They both dope, son. Okay, Nicki's a pen, bro. She penned that. So we're not going to compare Cardi to Nicki in that realm. Nicki writes her bars, bro. She will cook a nigga and a bitch. So let's leave that be, bro. Feel me? But to be able to take something and make it, bro, come on, bro. You can't even run that fast. This person's the big runner. They give you the baton and you run with it. Come on, bro. Cardi ran with the baton, son. It takes that. You cannot teach that, bro. You know how many artists people try to make and break every single day, son? You know how many industry plants are created every single day and they can't even get on right now? And they got all the money and the machine behind them right now, bro. You know? Do you know? Think about that. So it takes a lot to do what Cardi is doing, son. Wherever the fuck she at. It takes a lot to do what Cardi's doing. I'm going to tell you, son. Straight up. She has a talent. The other things is her talent. It don't matter if she could write or not. Just like great artists. Some artists that we know never wrote a song, bro. But you love the hell out of them. It's not about them person wrote it there. But let them sing that shit, though. Don't care who's going to sing the song like her. Nobody. Who's going to sing the song like him? Nobody. So it don't matter. We don't care. With some artists, we don't care if they write or not. Feel me? And I think Cardi has transcended writing, and she has that. You know what I mean? Whether she writes or not, she always dropping something hot. Shout out to her writers, you know what I'm saying? Because they always keep her hot. Her features, she be cooking on features. Whether we say the flow be sometimes a little stagnant how she flow, because I don't think she's really like a rapper, and she knows that. But she be cooking. The bars is always, I'm a metaphoric type rapper type stuff. You know what I mean? I like that. There's always metaphors, there's always similes, there's always like puns, double entendres, and things like that in the music. So she surrounds herself around great writers, and that's what we're doing.
Lot of talent. Let's be honest, we live in a colorist world and they are not going to sell, have the support that they have. So a lot of people keep on putting them together and putting them against one another. People think that if you don't like Cardi, then you're automatically a Nicki fan. And if you don't like Nicki, you're automatically a Cardi fan, and so on and so forth. And in each other, their fan bases pin them against each other, keep the beef going. And in turn, they both are kind of watching what each other does, because they are the only ones up at this level, despite Nicki Minaj being out way longer. They are the ones that are kind of up here at this particular level, constantly being put out. So I say all that to say, Cardi B just put out an album. She did really well in putting out her album. She had an album rollout. She was doing meet and greets. She dissed some rappers. She built up some buzz. And even before the album came out, she was throwing shade, saying that she was going to outsell the girls. Now, Nicki Minaj, like I said, once she came out with her album sales, or once her album sales was reported, Nicki Minaj was kind of like popping her collar, like, yeah, bitch, you my son type of vibe, to which Cardi B ignored yesterday, but today I guess she had time. All right. So being that Nicki Minaj continued to poke the bear and share that child, that ain't nothing. Wait for my album. My album come out next year. A lot of people got to talking about, how Nicki Minaj possibly was going to diss Cardi come next year on her album because Nicki Minaj revealed that her first track on her album is going to be labeled The Straw That Broke the Camel's Back. So she implies that she is going to be giving all of the rap girls a lashing and just kind of really rubbing it in people's face. Now, a lot of the Barbs felt like, oh yeah, she's the rap supreme. Nobody can beat her lyrically, and they were anticipating her album. While other people looked at her using this moment to shade Cardi B and to show that she was on top. A lot of people viewed it as a sign of weakness. They thought that she looked bitter because it's apparent that you have these stats. And a lot of people that are legends or icons, they don't have to constantly rub their stats in people's face because they are an icon. It is what it is. I'm an icon, you're not. And so a lot of people felt like it didn't have to go with her saying that, oh, I out rap you, because people already knew that. And they felt like that was what her fan base was for. So there was the Barbs who was happy that she was speaking out because they wanted to hear what she has to say on her album, and people were excited that she
The straw that broke the camel's back, bro. Son, that album's gonna be crazy, bro. I don't care if you like Nicki or not, bro. That shit's gonna be crazy. Trust me. Trust me, bro. That shit's gonna be crazy. And Nicki got a vengeance to prove, and she got ammunition this time, bro. It's not even about you liking Nicki or Cardi with this, bro. Straight. Let's leave that be, bro. I don't care what side. I like them both, son. I don't care. I love them both. I'm from New York. They from New York. I don't care. But look, my nigga, listen to me right now, son. That album, son, is gonna be so crazy. It's a shame. First of all, and she got beef for Jay-Z. Yo, bro, she's gonna be cooking on Jay-Z. She's gonna be cooking on the rap chicks. She's gonna be cooking with a couple of other people, probably Joe Budden. I don't know if she healed it up with him. She's gonna be cooking on mad people. So she got a lot of ammunition, bro. You need that as an artist. You need that ammunition, bro. If you don't got that, it's kind of, you could drop some hits or whatever. All right, cool, but you're creating an album here. The album needs, come on, bro. It needs texture. It needs all of these types of things, bro. It needs the beef, like her. I am the drama. She coming at this chick. She coming at everybody. Cardi B. What? See what I'm saying? It need that, bro. An album needs those other things. We need the hits. You need to slow it down. Talk about her relationship with her man, with Kalani. We already know the life. We already know the story, Steph Diggs and all that. So people are gonna buy into the shit, son. This is an album. This is a point of being mega superstars the way you are. Your life is it. Us getting into your life like Eminem or some shit. We know Kim, we know his moms, we know his daughter Haley. We all know this shit. So when we listen to the album, nigga, we want to hear what's the next shit that's going on also in his life, besides the beefs and the other shit, right? So it needs that too. And she got all the ammunition right now for all of that. And she got a chance to sit back and see Cardi release and watch how it went. So, but I just think that they should end the dumb shit, bro. You know what I mean? It's been going on for years, and it's really going on because from Cardi perspective, you're going to say, like, Nicki don't really want to give up the reins. She don't really want to just show love. Nicki's in a position like she just like the queen. So, you know what I mean? That's the energy. But sometimes we got to give up some of that because I believe that if Cardi and Nicki be on a song, to hell with a song, bro. They already did a song together, right? I think so. But I'm just saying, they need to do a project together. If Cardi and Nicki Minaj do an album together, bro, it's going to be one of the greatest albums in hip-hop history, bro. It's going to outsell everyone. It is going to snatch damn near all awards. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, bro? They're going to do something for females in hip-hop as well. They're going to shatter everything with this. This album, if they do this album, will be in competition with the Beatles, with Michael Jackson, with everybody that we think is great, son. And I think that's the statement that's left to be made now. Cardi came back. She sold 200, whatever she wanted to sell, this and this and that. Don't matter. The album certified platinum, regardless of the fact. Don't matter. Certified platinum, bro. Whether she put the couple of records from the past on it because her album ain't dropped in 7 years or whatever the case, doesn't matter. Those things was platinum, so it already certified the album platinum. We get that. It could be like a boost to platinum. We get it. But regardless of the fact, the shit's hot. So you can't tell me her album ain't got some steamers on there. Cardi shit got some steamers on there. She ain't even done dropping videos yet. So we gonna see that all till next summer. Trust me, we gonna get a song next summer off that album. Because she ain't dropping no album for the next 5 years, at least. So we understand that. And she's having a baby right now. It's quiet. No, she's not dropping no album for the next 5-7 years. So boom. What do we have now? The straw that broke the camel's back is gonna be dangerous, though. That shit sound dangerous. That shit sound dangerous, bro. That shit sound dangerous, bro. You know what I mean? But shout out to Cardi, bro, for being able to like bang back with Nicki. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if she could write or not. Her writers is writing, but I'm just saying, for you to bang back with Nicki, bro, and you can't write, bro. Come on, son. It's a lot. It's a lot. It take personality. You got to stunt. You got to be on some, but you ain't fucking with me. You got to be on that, bro, because you're not going to little girl Nicki, bro. You're not just going to run around a little girl. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's doing to everyone. That's why everybody's mad at Nicki, because that's what she tries to do. I mean, you my sons. You know what I'm saying? That's how she's on it. You're my sons, bro. Y'all niggas know I created the lane. I created the wave. I'm the first one to do it, homie. That's Nicki's whole energy. But I think she needs to relinquish some of those reins. There's so many great artists. If she took an approach like more like a Gucci Mane and understand, imagine how many of these artists that she would have had a hand in helping their careers to become what it becomes. Cardi B. Imagine if she played more of a role in Cardi B's career, bro. Bro, none of these will really be your sons now. You see what I'm saying? Don't stay on your ledge and in your castle by yourself talking about y'all's my sons. No, bro. Come out, help them, and then say, yeah, use my sons. You know I came out. If I ain't pop out, y'all, you know what I mean? You could probably do it that way, bro. But the point is, you got to relinquish some of those reins as the queen, bro. You know what I'm saying? To be a queen is to see queenship in other queens, bro. You got to see that, bro. You feel me? And you cannot just stick back on your castle like that. Because many artists, like even the Cardi B's and on them son, they all looked up to Nicki in some way, bro. Nicki came before all of these people, bro. Trust me, she was the only girl, bro. So at one point, you was banging Nicki's records if you didn't like it or not, bro. At one point, you was banging a Nicki joint. You might say, I ain't fucking with her no more, but at one point you were. She was the only one, bro. Who was on them records with all them niggas cooking up Khaled and all them records? It was her, bro. She was the only chick cooking, bro. Straight. At one point. For a couple of years, it was her. That's it. But Nicki got to be more, you know what I mean? Which she won't because Nicki's Nicki. But I just think that if they did an album together, it'd be one of the most definitely outselling albums in the world. But yeah, man, I think it'd be one of the greatest projects. Straight. And they do it with features and have features with them and all that other shit and really like create a project. They'll take over. And then their next solo projects after that, then after they do the album, I think they should both drop solo projects. Bang. And then take turns. Boom. 1 year time, you coming out, boom, coming out, bang. They don't even need that, bro. They don't even need the beef, bro. The beef is cool. Do we think we need the beef to sell it? But you really don't, son. What you're gonna have is a merger between the Body Gang and a merger between the Barbies. That's powerful. That's impactful, bro. You know the Cardi Gang is for Cardi. Them niggas is outside. You know the Barbies is outside for Nicki, bro. It don't matter. Like Nick just said, whether wrong or right, they're gonna defend them regardless, whether wrong or right. So imagine if you bring that together, bro. They about to be doing $1 million in a week, bro. Every time, $1 million in a week, $2 million in a week. That's what they're gonna be doing. Crazy numbers like that, bro. Just make sure the album got your hits, and you're gonna be cooking on whoever else you're cooking on. They don't have to cook on each other, bro. It may be corny, but I'm telling you. Yeah, we're gonna wait for the next album though. We're gonna wait for that straw that broke the camel's back. We most definitely gonna wait for that. Yeah though. I don't know though. Diddy is in a pickle, bro. Boy, Diddy's in a pickle. He's in a bad one. Hold on, let me see. So my man is thinking, bro. This is what's going on with your boy Diddy, bro. This is what's happening with your man Diddy, bro. Pyrus and Crips all getting along, bro. This is what's going on with your man Diddy, bro. Who allegedly was running the city. Okay. Let me zoom out so you can see that a little better. Okay. This is the sentencing memorandum. This is This number right here. Let me highlight it. Make it come back to the screen so y'all can see it highlighted. Do y'all see that highlighted? I hope you do. Okay, that's 189 pages. These people, which is the government I'm talking about, are not playing. Okay, good. They went back to break this whole damn thing down. But we're going to read a little bit just to see what it's about. Right? They said throughout this case, and over the course of a 7-week trial, this court has seen extensive evidence demonstrating the defendant's criminal conduct perpetrated across more than a decade. At trial, the defendant disputed that the government had made out particular elements of the charged federal offenses, but he largely conceded his conduct, the violence, domestic abuse, drug use, distribution, and bribery. The defendant will not be punished for any crimes of which he was acquitted, of course, but punishment for his crimes of conviction must take into account the manner in which he committed them. And this is how they use the things that you were acquitted of against you come sentencing, and that's called relevant conduct. Okay, for that same reason is why they're going to bring the things that you was alleged against you. They're going to bring it back here now. This is why they just explained that. Okay, his crimes of convictions are serious and have warranted sentences over 10 years in multiple cases for defendants who, like Sean Combs, engaged in violence and put others in fear. Consistent with those cases and based on corroborated evidence presented at trial, this court should impose a sentence of no less than 135 months. Okay, Diddy in his cell right now, like,
oh no, you can't be serious. That is some bullshit right there.
Diddy, like, yo, that is some bull. Okay, they swinging for 135 months now. Okay, at first they were saying the basic standard was like 50 something, 60 something months. That's it. That was like, but now they're trying to double that, and they're trying to double that for the fact to say, listen to me. Based on Cassie being with him for 11 years and she's there with this for 11 years, we want 11 years. I think it's smart for the prosecution to think like this. I think it's like strategic to put this in the judge's mind for him to look at it like the 11 years. This girl's been there for 11 years, and you just like sticking this in his brain, because that's what the prosecution was even doing with us. During that whole trial, they were just going, reiterating. They was reiterating the smallest of details. Like even when Cassie was talking about the urine, like, oh my God, like I had to block the urine with my hand. She was like this. Cassie went just like this. She said she had to stop it. She blocked the urine with her hand. She was like, so what was going on? She's like, I was choking. It was just too much urine in her mouth. Right? They was like, so what you mean? And they was just going into breaking down each part with the urine. Bro, this is how the prosecution worked, bro. They was drilling in your mind. So for the jury to not convict on the charges that they did, that mean the jury ain't believe it, bro, period. Because they drilled it. Okay? So with things like this, they're just drilling it now into the judge's mind to understand, like, yo, listen to me. It's not just about he's just on these 2 tuition charges. Let's think about how long this woman has been with this man dealing with it. We understand that it started from she was 22, not from when she was 19. But some people may say the 19 to the 22 is the grooming phase. That's what some people may say. I mean, I can't tell people how to think and feel, but you know what I mean? Kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But we understand that the FO started from 22. Okay. So maybe they should have been pushing for, let me see, maybe for like 9 years. You know what I'm saying? But they saying nah, the whole 11 years. And basically the prosecution saying those years is grooming years. So that prepared her and prepped her for the freak, also all the other things that she was about to be getting into. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. So it says imprisonment, 135 months imprisonment. That's where I was at, right? Boom. They said a substantial term of imprisonment is also needed in this case because the defendant is unrepentant, incredibly, while the defendant conceded his acts of violence and abuse throughout the trial. He now argues that his victims, make sure y'all seeing this, right? Y'all ain't even seeing this. Hold on. Because I don't even know why this shit even did this dumb shit. I can't even see this. I can see it. This. Cool. Let's try that. All right. Yeah, let's try that. So we can just read a little bit of it just to see what we're dealing with, right? So boom, at least how they playing their hand. right? They said a substantial term of imprisonment is also needed in this case because the defendant is unrepentant. Incredibly, while the defendant conceded his acts of violence and abuse throughout the trial, he now argues that his victims should shoulder the blame. The defendant tries to recast decades of abuse as simply the function of mutually toxic relationships. But there is nothing mutual about a relationship where one person holds all the power and the other ends up bloodied and bruised. This is a major thing because we also understand that the defense was saying that Cassie had the power in her ways because she's the one that had all the videotaped evidence. So listen, they saying basically the defense is saying, look, all right, how Puff got all the power, right? When every tape that we seen or anything that we know of any video stuff came out because Cassie had the video evidence, right? None of these things was ever found in Puff crib or nothing like that. So all the evidence Cassie had. So they saying, no, Cassie actually had more power because she had all of the videos, which is all of this videos in this trial. So maybe she's using the power of having the videos. This is what the defense was saying, right? But now look what the prosecution comes back to battle them with. See what I'm saying? So you got to understand that's what's still going on. So everything that happened in the trial is still happening, right? They said, indeed, in connection with sentencing, Cassandra Ventura, who, along with multiple escorts, was transported across state lines by the defendant for multi-day FOs in connection with count 3, of which the defendant was convicted, writes to the court that FOs were degrading and disgusting, leaving her with infections, illness, and exhaustion. Ventura became addicted to drugs the defendant provided her. She still has nightmares about the defendant's conceded physical abuse, which lasted more than a decade and left her with permanent scars all over her body. The abuse drove Miss Ventura to unaliving thoughts, which she almost followed through on as she testified at trial. Ventura asked the court to impose a sentence that considers the many lives that the defendant upended with his abuse and control. The court also heard testimony and reviewed contemporaneous communications from Jane, who, along with escorts, was transported across state lines by the defendant for hotel nights in connection with count 5, of which the defendant was also convicted. Now, Jane's testimony and communications detail how she was manipulated and beaten by the defendant. That evidence included a note Jane wrote to herself about how she felt violated and was tormented by how the defendant had placed and paid all of these harmful men on me and risked my health every single time for 2.5 years. The defendant, who perpetrate violations of the Mann Act involving such violence and fear, regularly face significant penalties. The defendant should be no exception, particularly when his history and characteristics demonstrate years of abuse and violence. Several former employees abused and exploited by the defendant, including one whom the defendant actually assaulted, submitted letters to the court in connection with the sentencing. These letters uniformly asked this is what I'm telling, this is the good words. I told you about this when I started this video. I said each letter, like going to even towards the end, some of them have the same language. When it comes to Mia and it comes to Capricorn Clark, they both use certain words. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe the prosecution helped tailor this too as well, because they both also use the words. It stopped the trajectory of my career trajectory. You know what I mean? So they was using like similar words, and it's hard for 2 people, 5 people, much less that gave up victim impact statements, to be saying the same kind of words. It's kind of weird, but we understand that they said what they probably wrote, and then the prosecution has dressed it up, or however that went, and now they've dressed all of this up to make everything go the way it's going to go, and then sent it back to them to say, all right, this is your whatever you saying, just dressed up. Boom. Do you agree with that? Then they probably agree with that. The letters uniformly asked the court to impose a sentence that reflects the severity of the defendant's conduct and his history and pattern of violence. Given the seriousness and the duration of the offense conduct, as well as his decades of unchecked violence, Consideration of the relevant factors under 18 U.S.C. 3553A weighs heavily in favor of a substantial sentence as well as the statutory maximum fine. The sentence imposed on the defendant should reflect the substantial psychological, emotional, and physical damage he has inflicted. Most significantly, the nature and seriousness of the offense, the need for deterrence, and to promote respect for the law, and the history and characteristics of the defendant warrant a sentence of no less than 135 months imprisonment. Such a sentence is consistent with similar situated defendants who committed Mann Act violations and is warranted here. Procedural background. Let me just check my screen. Damn, y'all ain't even seeing it, but I can read good though. But I want to show you. Listen, y'all got to drop likes for that. I taught myself to read, nigga. Reading Rainbow, bro. I can't. Yeah, nigga. So if you know what the Reading Rainbow is, nigga, know that, homie. Haru. Listen, hold up. Right? They said procedural backgrounds. A federal investigation and charges. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York and Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, began investigating the defendant in connection with physical and sexual abuse of intimate partners, among other acts of violence, on November 17, 2023. In September 2024, a grand jury sitting in the Southern District of New York indicted the defendant on September 16, 2024. The defendant was arrested in New York and taken into federal custody. Since his arrest, the defendant has been housed in Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn. On or about April 3rd, 2025, a grand jury sitting in the Southern District of New York voted a 5-count superseding indictment charging the defendant with the following racketeering conspiracy in violation of the Title 18 United States Code section. Come on, bro. We know this, man. We're not going to read that, bro. Tired of this. Okay, let's see what this is talking about. The defendant pretrial bail hearings. Let's see what this is about. The defendant was arraigned on September 17th. Pretrial bail hearings. We don't want to know that's pretrial, bro. Let me just see if there's anything in here that we want to see. The judge appealed that Judge Tarnofsky decision to the Judge Carter, to whom the case was then assigned in a bail hearing. Judge Carter proceeded on September 18, 2024, a lengthy argument. Judge Carter denied the defendant bail, finding that the defendant was a danger regarding obstructing of justice and witness tampering, and that the defendant posed a danger to the safety of others in the community. Okay. So he had his detention, his bail renewal. Pass all of that, bro. Trial. We understand the trial. Let's go through the trial. Hold up. The FOs. Testimony of Jane, who was in a relationship with the defendant, ultimately 2021, through the defendant's arrest, and engaged in frequent hotel nights with the defendant, and also experienced violence and manipulations at the hands of the defendant, including after the defendant knew that he was under investigation for sex trafficking. That's crazy. This line is crazy. This line right here is crazy. Through the defendant's arrest, and engage in frequent hotel nights with the defendant, and also experience violation and manipulation at the hands of the defendant, including after the defendant knew that he was under investigation for sex trafficking. That's crazy. The testimony of multiple other individuals who experienced violence at the hand of the defendant. Testimony of former employees. We understand that. We got photos, offense conduct. Okay, let's go here. Beginning in April 2009, the defendant paid dozens of male commercial sex workers to have sex with Ventura and Jane hundreds of times. The defendant organized, directed, and paid for these FOs, as Ventura referred to them, and hotel night, as Jane referred to them, sometimes on a weekly basis. Both Ventura and Jane did not want to have sex with these strangers and told the defendant as much on several occasions. This is a hard one, though, because we can understand that maybe they did want to do that, especially Jane. Jane was dealing with the whole other dude. We know who he is. You dealing with Diddy now. Your baby father and Diddy's ops. You know what I mean? What do you want? Love and marriage from Diddy? Diddy's just a simp too. He's a simp, bro. He's a trick, cuck, and a simp. Straight. Because why is you even loving up your aunt baby moms? Like, how is that even possible? And why is y'all even acting like this was a true thing or a real thing? And y'all was appreciating each other. Y'all loved each other. And why she in the court talking about her significant other, bro? Stop, bro. How much do you love your son, lady? Come on, bro. Y'all want to make a case for Jane. Get out of here. How much do you love your son, woman? Your son was living in that house, bro. What are you talking about? $10,000 a month? And you spent all the money on a house? What are you talking about, bro? Where's your priorities, Jane? Okay? And you're FOing in a house where your child's at. And y'all gonna defend that. Y'all gonna defend that. You know how many women I met, bro? And we was cool and shit like that? Probably never went to a crib, bro. Y'all kids into who cares? Probably known her for years, probably clapped it mad times, over 100 times I've clapped it. But she loves her kids, bro. Don't matter, bro. You're gonna be FOing in your crib, bro. Multiple men in your crib. Where your kid at? What type of timing is that? And you dealing with your baby father's op. So again, how much do you love your kid that you're dealing with your baby father's op? And you act like you in love with the nigga. What? Stop it. There's many fish in this sea, bro. Stop being fools to me, bro. Jane? When it comes to Cassie, you can say whatever. But Jane? I'm telling you, bro, she's a grown-ass woman, and I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. You know that you wanted a baller. You know that after dealing with who you was dealing with, you had to go for either one or two people, Jay-Z or Diddy, and you know the truth, and you're not getting Hove. So ease up, sister. You're not getting Hove. So we understand. We understand. But again, Diddy's a simp. Diddy's a trick. Diddy's a cuck. Because he put himself in that position. Right? Because he could have FO'd and all that and left her alone. Bye. Right? Imagine how much it broke Diddy heart that he was sitting in that court and she was in there testifying and talking about, they said, Jane, what do you see on the screen? What you bought Diddy? What did you buy for his birthday? Oh, I bought him a TV that wheels around the room and stuff like that. So why did you buy him this TV? I bought it so that it could suffice instead of the escort. We could just watch back my movies and stuff like that. And maybe we could just make love because I seen that that's what was getting them off, basically. You know what I mean? All right, cool, Jane. I'm not knocking Jane for thinking that. Whatever. Cool. All right. So, Jane, when you looked at the videos, did you watch them back? She said, yes. Did you see yourself? Yes, I just saw myself. Okay, Jane. So what did you see when you saw yourself? All I saw was this repeated pattern, just this pattern going over and over. And Imagine Diddy was in the court like this. Still paying the rent, you know. Paying for lawyers and all that, you know that. Paying for lawyers and all that, you know. Hey, what up? Paying for lawyers and all that, bro. Think about this. Still to the day. You making money. Did he even help the lady to create her own business and all that, which she bragged about in the court like she was making money and she was making about 50,000 or whatever the hell she was making. So all right now. So why do you need Diddy's measly $10,000, bro, which is $333 a day? Why do you need $330 a day? Why do you need $333 a day that bad? When she's a beautiful woman, she could get a man that's a street nigga, a regular businessman, a regular working man to give her $333 a day. That's a fact, son. Regular dude to give her 10 grand. That you who, baby moms? Whole list, come. A regular guy. Whole list, come. Nigga probably worked for garbage, saved up his whole life. Whole list. See what I mean? So what are we talking about here, bro? What are we talking about? She's there because she wanted to be there, bro. She's there because she wanted to be there. Jane, I'm talking about. Cassie, you can say whatever. Oh, nah, she groomed it. All right, cool. But when it comes to Jane, I've been on my ledge, bro. I don't care what you say. I don't care. She was grown. She know the deal. She didn't even want to go get her own bag. She's getting her own money, and you still want this? Like, what? And you didn't even want more money. That's why I'm tight with Jane, too. Bro, you got a whole kid, bro. You spent the whole $10,000 on the apartment in the crib. Why? The rent, the whole thing is for on the $10,000. So she never got the $10,000 that she bargained for when it came up with the love contract, bro. You bargained. You got him on the heels right now. He's about to come up with an agreement with you. Yo, man, I'm tired of what I was doing. I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? We need more love. You know what I'm saying? We need more love. I'm going to come up with a love contract. That's what Diddy told her. All right, cool. So that means she got Diddy like this at the moment. Love contract. Cool. What's that? Yo, what's your allowance? I'm going to pay you every month. Cool. She threw a number out there. Regular number, you know. This how cheap Diddy is. Billionaire, supposedly. Look, bro. This how cheap Diddy is. Diddy's partly in there because he's cheap. Bro, look. She throws a number out there. 20 grand. Diddy like, hell no. Diddy like, hell no. She like, all right, cool. 15 grand. He like, no, sir. No, it's a no can do. Diddy said it's a no can do, bro. I'm like, How does a love contract? And I'm trying to tell you what I want, and you ain't give me what I want, bro. This is weird. But before she even fluff up, the woman could do that. Nah, you know what? I'm done. Like, fuck out of here. You want to talk about this? Ain't no love. Blah, blah, blah. She didn't even do that. Fluff like a woman fluff. Nah, nigga, you gonna give me more, right? She didn't even do that. She says 10. He like, all right, cool. Get we go with 10. Bruh, she didn't even haggle the price, homie. How you don't haggle Diddy? You got a billionaire on the fish. You got a billionaire on the reels, homie. Feel me? Diddy telling you he gonna give you the love contract, homie. And that's all you come up with 10,000. You couldn't haggle that price. Diddy wants you to do an FO, bro, every week. You know how much Diddy would pay for an FO? He loved that shit so much that you were supposed to be getting rich off FOs. FO should have been your business, fool. What's wrong with you then? You was doing them, so what are we doing then? No, sir. You're going to be paying me 10K a FO. What are you talking about? Not 10K a month. 10K an FO. That's 40K a month, lady. Regardless. That's every day. You know how hard Diddy would have been hustling? Diddy would have been jerking people on contracts and all types of shit, bro, to get that money up for the methos, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Where you gonna find it? Yes, mad people to do it, but he wants who he wants to do them. Trust me. And Jane had more power than she even knew. Even Cassie, she had more power than she even knew, son. Trust me, son. But Diddy was just crazy, though. The other shit with Diddy, that's why I say with Cassie, you got to leave because there's a lot more. Cassie went through a lot of years of violence. She went through mad shit. Jane didn't go through what she went through. The defense said that Jane had one instance of violence with Diddy. That's it. So they making it seem they lumped her in with Cassie just now, like they had all this violence, but they only mentioned one episode of violence, which they say that Jane initiated the violence by, I think, slamming Diddy head on a counter or some shit, or throwing something. And I think Diddy wilded out after that, though. Diddy beat her up, though. But I think they said the defense, they're going to say that, I mean, she initiated, but that's how women be, you know what I mean? So just because a woman just hit you, though, that don't mean you got to go off the handles and just fucking kill her. I mean, so we get it. So Diddy's super violent, and that's partly the reason of why he was even in that whole trial. Majorly the whole reason why. It's less about FOs and more about his violence. And his violence is what's going to come to bite him. Just the violence, bro. Not the FOs, the violence, bro. Trust me. Much. So I don't know about this one. Both Cassie and Jane did not want to have sex with these kids. No, they did. They did. Maybe in different circumstances, maybe without the abuse when it comes to Cassie, maybe putting on condoms, because Jane was like, yo, let's wear condoms too as well, besides Cassie. But we know for a fact Jane was like, yo, bro. Because that's what I'm saying. Come on, bro. They did go through a lot. Even Jane too, bro. Even Jane too. So I'm not going to say that she didn't. She did, bro. Because, you know what I mean? She even went as far as to getting two guys that was corn stars to say, boom. Because remember, corn stars get tested all the time. So Jane went as far to get corn stars, suggesting, yo, bro, can we bring these two guys in or whatever, like two corn star type dudes, and like try to like vet them with Diddy, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if Diddy went for whatever the case may be, because she know that they'll be clean, so they'll be having the raw sex, you know what I'm saying? Unprotected sex. So we did see Jane do that. So we did. Hold up, let me go back to Jane. So we damn sure did see Jane do that. So I can't lie on that. But it's just that she was old enough, man. And she was dead, bro. And you just ain't have no good intention for Diddy, and Diddy ain't have no good intention for you. So why y'all dragging it like y'all was in some loving thing that y'all was having? Y'all was not in nothing loving, bro. She was far from loving, like Cassie said in her impact statement. She was far from loving, bro. You too, Jane. The defendant's relationship with Ventura over the course of 4 days, Cassandra Ventura testified in detail about her relationship with the defendant, which lasted a little over a decade, for approximately 2008 until approximately 2018. To 2018. Some of her testimony is summarized below. The defendant pursued Cassie Ventura romantically when she was approximately 21 years old, and he was approximately 38 years old. After he signed her to a 10-album deal, this was the craziest thing ever, though. This is part the reason why I thought he was going to get clipped and maybe even get a bigger charge and get convicted of the bigger stuff. It's because you also did this and you never like put her out. It's like, it's crazy. And Cassie was in the court talking about Actually, Brian Steele, I think, I know whoever was not Brian Steele. Because Nicole Westmoreland spoke to Cassie, right? No. Teeny. I think Teeny Garagos. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Teeny crossed Cassie. But they was referencing this throughout the case of saying like she had so many songs, bro. She had songs with Lil Wayne. She had songs with damn near Lil Baby. I don't know. So many songs she had. And I'm telling you, it sounded like it could have been great songs. But Diddy never put the records out. You know what I mean? So I think that was kind of foul that he did that. And that's going to come to bite him in some ways too. Ventura described that at the time, she was really super young. That shows coercion in some ways. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to think it's not coercive, but it's like if you believe in a person, you got the person, boom, the person never ever got a career. So we understand that her career trajectory was halted. Even though Capricorn Clark is saying her career trajectory was halted because she was blacklisted from the industry and all of that. And she got a son that's autistic and nonverbal and all these things is going on. And she got to work a couple of jobs to even make it suffice to what her worth is. And we understand Mia saying the same thing, as well as Mia suggesting that even maybe some intellectual property that she's created, because I remember that Mia was creating like a show or something, like her and Diddy was working on some show or something like that, or something that Diddy was, some baby of hers, like it's like a show or something that Diddy was on, but I think Diddy canceled it. And they said that's what threw her off the ledge. And then she was having like unalivened thoughts and all these other things. So the defense was trying to use that to say she was in love with Diddy and all of that. Is basically when Diddy cut off the strings with this little her baby project here is when she flipped the lid. Whatever. You could take that with a grain of salt, believe that if you want. But I'm just saying. When she said in her victim impact statement, she said, yeah, man, she took it really hard. And so to hear from their own words now and not from the lawyers talking about it, it's impactful. Whether you like it or not, it's impactful. Yep, let me see. Unannounced and let himself in. Right? The paid Ventura Apartments and frequently came over unannounced and let himself in often violent fits of rage. Yep, he did this. Cassie even said at one point she had a knife stuck in the door, just in case. She had a knife just like stuck in the back and just in the door, just in case he came through and barged in. She just stuck the shit right through the door. Bang. So it was right in the door. So like once he opened the door, it'd be a knife like sticking in the door. Just in case she needed access to a knife or a weapon, bro. She stuck a knife in the door. That shit was crazy when I heard that one. My bathroom is broken. He has my keys, so I'm leaving. I do not feel safe. 3 of my doors are now broken. He came through busting down the crib. He did all of that. Yeah, he did all of that. He texted crazy. He texted all the time too. He did. He did. He damn sure did. Hold up. He did. Let's see what else he did. What Combs did to Cassie on a videotape is indefensible. That right there is going to kill him. It's going to hurt him right here, right? Okay. Diddy's problem is the lack of humanity as well. And what comes across in that video is a lack of humanity. You feel me? You just got to talk it straight, bro. You know what I'm saying? I have no side in this case, bro. You feel me? It's not like I was on the trial. So we just got to talk it straight and talk it what it is. Okay? Straight. Diddy was foul, bro. Diddy was dead wrong, bro. Nobody gonna say he was not, nigga. He was dead wrong. Nobody can defend Diddy for what Diddy's done, bro. Nobody can, bro. Okay? That's how come Diddy's defense team and Diddy himself should be coming up with more accountability stuff and talking about how you're going to change it and how you plan on making these changes. Not just you're going to be in therapy, not just you're going to be talking to some counselors, not just those things. You know what I'm saying? You got to be talking detailed about this and taking some ownership of at least the things that you have been convicted of, bro. You've been convicted of them. Listen, you got to understand, bro, whether you think you're innocent of a crime or you're not, bro. Okay? when you've been convicted now, you've been convicted. You got to change gears now. You have to change gears now. All right. When you caught up in certain things, you got to show some kind of accountability in the court now. You see what I'm saying? Whether you think it's wrong or right, bro. You think it's wrong or right, bro. Because that's going to impact your sentencing. Not just Diddy, anybody, bro. Especially if you there for domestic stuff and you there for like this type of stuff and being abusive and coercing and all that of women and all this stuff, bro. Especially even anytime in court with women and all that, you're not looking good. But especially nowadays in the era we in the Me Too and all that, bro, it's not looking good for you. You go in that court, son, with some bravado and acting like you ain't sorry to family and sorry to their mother and sorry to this and sorry to that, bro. What are you talking about, bro? That's what the defense is supposed to be talking about. Listen, man, regardless of the fact, Sean Combs is ultimately, and all the other big words you want to put in there, sorry not only to Cassie Ventura, but to her parents, her family, the children, for even having to go relive this now that she even had to come to court with all of this. Okay? Straight up. Really like taking ownership. Yeah, at the time, maybe I felt like it was consensual. A lot of it was. But this trial has got me to see that some of my actions may have been out of pocket, you know what I'm saying? But I did love her. I do love her. I did love Jane, you know what I'm saying? And I did, but maybe my love was skewed. Maybe my vision was blurred. Maybe you know what I'm saying? Maybe the reality of it, or how I was living in my lifestyle and all of these different things, maybe the D-rugs and all of these types of things, not making excuses, but just keeping it real. Just keeping it real, bro. Just regular, no story, no doctored up speech, just keeping the shit real, bro. Straight, bro. And that's all I think Diddy should have really been doing, bro. Since he was denied bail, son. That's it, son. They should have changed gears, bro. Straight. This is what we gonna do, man. Boom. Straight. This is what Sean Combs wanted to say for real. Because the last thing we heard him say was when he got up and spoke in court. And he was like, yo, judge, yo, listen, I want to say that you're doing an amazing job. And then the judge was trying to speak, and then Diddy was trying to say something. I was like, Diddy, don't stink it up, Diddy. Don't say no more. And the judge was like saying something, and then Diddy stopped, was like, "Get judge." And the judge was like, "Yeah, speak." He was like, "Nah, I just want to say that, you know what I mean? He was doing a great job, da 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 da." And you know what I'm saying, da da da. Some shit he said, whatever Diddy said. So that's the last time we heard Diddy speak. Before that, when was the last time we heard Diddy speak before that? When he came out and did the apology speech on Instagram or TikTok, wherever he was. Remember at first he was acting like he was denying it, and then he came out with the sad face, like, "Yo, man, you know what I'm saying? I was in the dark place," or whatever the case may be. Yes or no? So that's the last time we heard Diddy speak, bro. You understand that? We heard him deny it. And then we heard him undeny it because he had no choice. Do you understand that? So now what he's supposed to be pushing out is something that's real now. You have to take accountability. First of all, you fronted at first. I know you a celebrity. I understand you. Ain't nobody going to keep. Who's pleading guilty to some charges? Ain't nobody trying to go to jail, plead guilty to no charge. But I'm trying to show you, bro. You've already done that. That's on record. See what I'm saying? So you're not taking any accountability, Diddy. Bro, you bugging, bro. You see what I'm saying? That should have been the whole thing. It should have been the whole play. Whether he believed it or not. Listen, man, regardless of the fact, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like I was guilty of a RICO or this and this and that. You know what I mean? But maybe me seeing this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, maybe I am guilty of this. These two counts. You know what I'm saying? You are. If you did this, then they put it like that. Because you don't need people to corroborate this charge that he's charged with. All you need is receipts and records to prove this. The flight, the hotel, the this, the that, the phone records, whatever, Cassie, whatever, bro. That can prove that count, bro. You don't need people to come and testify really for that. It just corroborates it and just sticks it. But I'm just saying, those counts are really proven through phone records and receipts. So basically, you're guilty of them, right? Don't argue with it. Fuck it. I felt like he was going to get convicted of those two anyway. I said that on Daily Mail. I said that on my interview on the news. It's on Shade Room. They asked me for my take on it, and I wasn't really going to give a verdict, but I said, you know what? That's my girl too, Saren. So you know what? I'm going to do that. And I gave her a take, and I told her that day. You know what I mean? I say no to the RICO. I don't think they'll convict on that. I say no to the trafficking. I don't think they'll convict on that. But I just think it's hard for him to get away from the interstate tuition charges. And the prosecution was smart, even though they were kind of fooled how they charged it, because they overcharged it, and that's why they failed in some ways with the case. But they was also smart how they charged it, which they charged them with 2 counts of one thing, 2 counts of one thing, and one thing. So if he got convicted of 1 trafficking, he'd have got convicted of 2. So if he got convicted of 1, which I knew most likely he'd get convicted of 1 tuition of Cassie, I don't know if the jury would have believed that he did the same to Jane. Maybe Jane's older, maybe Jane's more, you know what I mean? But they did. And the same thing that's going to make you guilty of the first count is going to make you guilty of the second count. So it doesn't matter if the circumstances may vary and they're kind of different. Did you do it or not? Yeah, you did. So you could talk more about, you know what I'm saying, about that, about not wanting to be that, about not wanting to do that, about your daughters, how you're raising 4 daughters or something like that. And you don't want that type of image to be long lasting or the lasting image on your daughters. And, you know what I'm saying, you discussed it with yourself that you was living in such of a manner, whether you want to go home and live in this manner again, bro. Because we're not perfect. Sometimes we lie to ourselves. Sometimes we say we're not going to do something. Yo, I'm not going to be with her no more. I'm not going to be with him no more. And you're still with them. Like, we do shit, right? No one's perfect, right? But it starts from a thought, bro. Everything starts from a thought. And those are the kind of thoughts that Diddy needs to be getting out. Just being honest, bro. The lack thereof is going to come to hurt him in the end. We've already seen his defense team show signs of bravado. They might not have meant to come across as bravado, but everybody wants attention and light. And Mark Agnifilo did an interview with Jerika Duncan from CBS News. Shout out to my girl, Jerika Duncan. And Nicole Westmoreland did a conversation with, who was it? Was it CNN? I think it was CNN, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But on both of those, Nicole Westmoreland said they was in talk with Trump's, which I think that was foul and that was wrong for her to do. She had to walk back those statements. Mark Agnifilo to Jerika Duncan on CBS News said that in a talk with Diddy, because, you know, he say he goes to his cell, he talks with Diddy, wherever in jail or whatever. He said in his talk with Diddy, Diddy told him that he can't wait or he plans to be in on the Madison Square Garden big stage again. Like, what? What type of shit is that to say, bro? Straight up.
Oh, no, you can't be serious. That is some bullshit right there.
I swear to God, son, that was the most fool thing I ever heard, son. When I heard Mark is a smart man, bro. Nicole, she was looking for the light. That's why she was talking too much. She should have never answered no questions about TRUMP. Are you dumb or you stupid? What? Don't do that. Let that shit swirl. Let him, Trump, speak if he want to speak, but don't throw that out there. Relax. Even if y'all in talks. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The judge looking like, word? All right, cool. So y'all want to get a pardon, huh? All right, cool. So tell him pardon this then. How about the judge just rock you and say pardon that? Since y'all playing like you still acting like you above the law is what I'm trying to show you, bro. What do you mean you gonna be on MSG? What do you mean you in a conversation with Trump? What do you mean, bro? This man, this man, bro, sitting back looking at all of these things, bro. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about, bro? It's forcing the man hand, bro. It's forcing the man hand. Trust me, son. You got to be on some low, humble shit right now, son. What are you talking about? Humble, low. I know they was pushing for his bail. Bro, they're not giving you a bail, bro. But your people got to try. I get it. If you're in that can, you want them people to try. So they're going to have to try. I get that. Okay? But all of the bravado, all of the bolster, all of that is not needed, bro. Those victim impact statements that I read, go watch them on my channel if you haven't heard them. I read them yesterday. You know what I mean? Cassie's saying, because the way the defense described the relationship was this love, what do you call it? Romantic love, like some shit. And Cassie was like, it was not that or no love or loving. You know what I mean? She was like, it was like horrible and horrific. You know what I mean? That's how Cassie spoke about it in the impact statement. Deontay Nash went on to be like, yo, man, listen to me, man. This man don't need to be out. This man trying to get away with his things. He think he bigger than the program and all of that stuff. He ain't changed his ways. He ain't taking no accountability. Capricorn Clark went to speak to, like, she knows him so well and she's worked with him for so many years and all the stuff that she's been through and all of that, and saying that him being released is not going to help him. He needs more time to be away from his life. Only him being away from his life, his lifestyle, and the D-rugs and all of that for a period of time is the only thing that's going to save his life. That's what Capricorn Clark said in her statement. Okay, so there was some uniformity to the statements, bro. So whether you say, them statements don't mean nothing, who the hell is dumb gonna say that, bro? Them statements ain't shit. What? You've never been in a trial for your own. What the fuck are you talking about? Statements don't mean nothing when it's victim statements. What are you talking about, bro? You sound like a plumb fool, bro. Straight, son. So whoever said that to me yesterday, don't say it again. Because it just don't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense, bro. What are you talking about, bro? Cassie's the main victim in this case, bro. He's been convicted of one of the charges of her. What are you talking about? You don't think what she says matters? Whether you believe in Capricorn or anybody else, you don't think what she's saying matters. Then they even had Chef Jordan. The prosecution is playing in a dirty way, though. Because they put Chef Jordan's impact statement in there, but her thing is old. It looks like it's from the beginning of the trial, maybe the first words that they got from her. And that's what they have, and they threw it in there as an impact statement. Where was you at, Chef Jordan? Why did you pop out? If you really believed you were the victim or you believed in the victims, like you said, you watched Cassie be victimized and all these things, why you ain't pop out? Why you ain't pop out? Although everybody on the back end got an underlying ching thought in their mind. So we got to think about that. We're not going to say people ain't victims because they ain't called cops. Can't say it because some people don't call cops for multitudes of reasons. And they call feds or they don't call exercise for whatever reason. But we understand that everybody called civil lawyers. Everybody called a civil lawyer, even if they didn't call nothing else. So money is always a motive as well. You have to think about that. Money is a big motivator. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I think it's just Diddy was cheap as well. I think he was cheap, son. I think he was cheap. Yeah. My question to y'all is this, right? After you was done with Cassie, right? Okay, remember, this is my question to anybody that's watching me right now. Straight up. Use Diddy, not you Diddy. Pause, bro, because you're not Diddy. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, homie. Yeah, listen, we're gonna put you in a situation with Diddy, right? And you got Cassie, all right? But look, y'all went through this relationship, how y'all went through it. Okay? All right. Now you're at the end of it. And at the end of the relationship, right? She now cheats, I guess, on you and deals with the guy that you hired as the workout exercise guy, whatever the case. So now she's with the guy that you know what I mean? So you probably gonna be tight, whatever about it, obviously, right? That was your shorty for how many years, regardless if you felt you was doing wrong or right to a person, you always gonna act like you ain't did no wrong. Everybody blames somebody else and everybody wants their cake and eat it too, right? Exactly. So, right, boom. So now she's cheated on you, whatever. But remember, you done been doing all this. You done freaked over with her for every day. How much shit was you doing? You done abused her. How much shit you done did, bro? So even if she done Kid Cudi or these couple niggas, whatever happened. You know what I mean? Or maybe she ran off with the nigga. We done anyway. Now she ran off with Alex Fines or whatever the case may be. Boom. So now you and Diddy roll now. Cool. So now Cassie's leaving and Cassie goes back to her mom's crib. Remember, I think she's pregnant, got a baby. So she's back at her mom's crib in the basement, wherever she's at, with her kid and her man. Okay? Listen to me now. Listen to me very clearly now. Okay? If you're Diddy, do you A, don't give them shit. Don't give a fuck about her. You was cheating with this nigga. The help. Right? B, possibly give her a little change. You know what I'm saying? To say, listen, man, go ahead, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, she really love you, and she's probably still going to come back like women sometimes do. She got a nigga, but she's going to come back. Stop. And we living in a lifestyle. Alex can't achieve this thing that we've been achieving. What Cassie said was domestic violence is the issue. She wanted to do some of the stuff that she was doing for him because that's how much she loved him. Sometimes you love a person so much you will do things, bro. But you know what was the problem? The damn violence, bro. You want to beat me. You want to do all this other crazy stuff for what damn reason, bro? Like, stop. She's doing all of this, bro. She's doing it on menstruals. She's doing it on STDs. I mean, whatever the hell she's doing it. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? What else do you want from her? It's the violence, though, which was her big complaint, Cassie. Okay. Do you give her some change? Do you not give her no change? Right? Do you go on like nothing ever happened? And that's the option B. You go on like nothing ever happened, You making songs still talking about get in your bag, stay in your bag. Gee, on my love, I guess I gotta move on. Is you gonna do this? Because that's option C, homie. Because that's what they did. Because when you listen to that song, trust me, he's talking all about Cassie. I tried to give it all to you, baby. Brand new Mercedes, a newborn baby. Yeah, but you told me that you love too. But I told you that you love too lazy. Nigga said you love too lazy. I'm looking at it at the song the first time, you know. I just heard the song. And I'm like, get in your bag. All right, cool. I'm at the trial, and Diddy like, yo, finish strong. And he wants you to stay up throughout the whole duration of the FO, which is 3 days or 4 days at max. So when he's saying you love too lazy, what does he mean by this now? So think about this now. Is this his own psyche? Because in this song, it's like he never did no wrong. And he's also saying the dude that you with is only with you because you was with me. So tell him stop reaching. Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yes. My man sang that part. And he was with me and because not reaching. Yeah. Come on, bro. And he said the nigga that you with is only with you because you was with me. So tell him stop reaching, homie. I'm mad, jealous of me. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm sorry, I'm petty, I'm all this other shit. But he understands that. But when you listen to the record, you understand his psyche, you understand his mindset. Okay? You done been with the woman for 11 years. Okay? When you in a relationship, bro, you know how much shit you're going to promise people? Bro, we make promises during a relationship, bro. Don't matter if it's over, it's over, it's over. But son, promises, bro. Yo, bro, don't worry about nothing. Even if we break up, son, you're going to be good. Remember, we up. We not living our broke life. We up. It's rich life. The fuck? And I had you as an artist and all, like, you even get your career, so you know he like, yo, listen, regardless of anything, you know you're going to be good. Don't tell me Diddy ain't never tell her this. Of course he told her this, bro. It's a relationship. You telling Shorty that right now, and you probably ain't got no money. Think about it. Think smart. We do this, bro. That's the type of shit they're going to say is fraud, and now going to give you a goddamn RICO charge now because you done defrauded the lady. She flew out to you. You done promised her something. You didn't do it. Now you in a FRICO. This is what they're trying to do. But think about it. She's back at her house with her husband to be, a baby, in her mom's crib, feeling like shit. Now understanding she has to live out really what she's been hiding from her mom the whole time, really, really in full. Now they really getting into the full because this is her mother, Spanish lady too. She want to know the truth now that it's out. So now they understand and know that she's dealing with all of that. At the same time, they sitting there festering about you. Her man is there festering about you. Like, what, son? Da-da-da. Let's sue this nigga. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. What else could be there for you, fool? What else? You done got away with highway robbery or murders. What are you talking about? What else could be there for you? Right? Imagine Diddy was like this. You know what? Listen, it's all good. You moving on, get in your bag, stay in your bag. Really, like the song saying, and be it. Don't sing the shit. Be it, nigga. Imagine he actually did that. It's like, you know what? Hold this. Get in your bag, stay in your bag. Do your thing. I mean, get about your mom's crib and all that other shit. Just do you, bang. You know what I'm saying? Give him a couple of million. Nobody took a couple of million. Not even that serious. He could have gave him like 2 mil. Not even that serious. If you wanted to get crazy and give him 5, he probably promised her all this kinds of money, man. She done been in a fucking relationship with you forever, doing FOs, and you done signed that, you done ate that money too. Like, bro, stop. Let's just relax. Even if you gave her 5 million, it wasn't a loss to you. You're you, bro. You're Diddy. You could have gave her 5 M's. Listen, bro, just to make sure she's good, son. Listen, bro. Hold a couple of M's. I'm not saying 5. It's a lot, bro. But I'm just saying he could, bro. You done promised her all this money. Think about it. If he gave her 5 mil, she'd have been chilling. She'd have never said shit. Hold this. Get your crib. Do what you got to do. Bless your parents and all that. You know, I'm sorry about allegedly extorting your moms and shit. You know what I mean? She about to go put a mortgage down on the house to give me $20,000 or some dumb shit. I'm sorry for all of that shit. It's all good, bro. Just do you. Trust me, son. Alex would have did some shit one day and she would have flew right back to that nigga. Gangster, bro. She'd have flew right back to him, son. Trust me, son. She'd have been in a position. He would have released her from her contract. That's what he should have did. Just released her from her contract and gave her a couple of M's and said, go ahead and do your thing. Because you done made money from her, bro. And you done FO'd her every week. 52 fucking weeks in a year, bro. What the hell are we talking about here, bro? Let's be honest, bro. So that's why I'm saying the humanity level of it all is what's going to come back to burn Diddy, bro. That's the humanity, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Them having to do it during UTIs, urinary tract infections. Still not stopping my party. She allegedly OD'd one day and woke up in the shower, Cassie, with allegedly Dave, who's cleaning Howard, the guy that's suing her now. And Diddy was looking over like this, looking like they seen a ghost. And she was right back in the FO right after that. She didn't go to the hospital. She didn't go nowhere. She went right back in the FO. So the humanity level, I think, is going to come to burn Diddy in this. You know, I don't know if he's going to get 11 years though. You know, I think 11 is a lot for these charges, just for these charges. So to watch the prosecution flip script and go from like 5 years and change to push out for 11 years and to use it on the back of Cassie's relationship, which they say is for 11 years or so, to say that, Judge, look at the 11 years that this woman has been with this man. Think about the 11 years of her having to do the FOs and all these things. Think about the years of violence and abuse and all of these things that she had to go through for multiple years. So when we're thinking about these two charges, we're not just thinking about just the two charges. Let's think about the years of her escorting, going here, the males coming here, going there. I want you to look at how much ever years. I don't think it was 11 years that they was doing that, because she started and was introduced to it at 22. And Diddy started the relationship, I think, around 21, but Diddy had her around him since 19. See what I'm saying? But the relationship started at 21, which she allegedly, I think, cheated on Ryan Leslie and came up with a flyer to say that she was hosting a party in Miami, which there was no party in Miami. Diddy was on his boat. She went to meet Diddy on his boat, and that's the first time Diddy saddled her up, and she oiled up for Diddy. So not only did Cassie enter the relationship with Diddy cheating, she also left it too. Not to say she didn't have a right to be cheating, whatever. I don't know. People do what the fuck they want to do. I'm not saying. I'm not calling it whatever. I'm just saying though. But she did. So don't act like she's some weakling. She started it cheating on Ryan Leslie, which was her man at the time. Okay, whatever. What? I know Ryan. All right then. So okay. Started it with Ryan. Fuck, I'll get Ryan on the screen. Tell me yourself, Ryan. Cut the shit, bro. Stop. Right? And then at the end, cheated on Diddy with his exercise guy that he hired for her. She ended up marrying him. Shout out to them. Kudos. But I'm just saying. They just was in a toxic relationship. It was a lot. It was just a lot. You know what I mean? And Diddy should have been stopped this shit a long time ago. He got away with it up long enough, mad times. And he was at points that he wanted to stop it, allegedly. You know what I mean? When he said that he wanted to stop it, she said no. Cassie told him, no, I don't want to. I want to freak off for the rest of my life every day. She said she want to freak off like it's the first time for the rest of her life or some shit like that every day. She wants to do. When Diddy said, no, I don't want to do this no more, bro. How you got Diddy on the fence? You and God and Jesus got this nigga jumped right now because he's thinking of stopping it, even if he think he's faking. Why is he even thinking this? Because Diddy love oils. He love it too much. Nope. He also came up with that with Jane too. He said, nah, we gonna have a sobriety FO, one last FO. It's the last train to Paris, homie. It's the last FO, homie. Last oil ups. He said, Joe, we having a sobriety FO. It's the last one. You know that ain't the last one. Diddy love FOs, bro. Diddy love FOs, bro. But yeah, man. I don't know what he's gonna get, but I don't think that he'll be released. Not me. I just don't, bro. It's not about being on side at all, bro. It's just what I see. And what I'm seeing here, you know what I mean? I see a bunch of like positioning and posturing for the defense. They tried the posture, made a couple of missteps. The defense, bro. I'm just talking about the defense. I don't think they've been making all of the clean, right moves since the verdict. They've been making some good moves. They've been pushing their things through, pushing the motions through, all of the things that they do, Rule 29s, everything they're doing. I get it. They've been doing everything that they have to do on the back end, preparing for appeals or anything that's on the back end. I get it. But I think more of who he is as a person right now, more of how this has changed him, more of how him, how he feels about not only towards the victims family, his own family. He's even victimized his family by them being in the court having to listen to this. His daughters was there one day listening to the Philip, bro, and he's talking about all these graphic things. That's the first day when they said the daughters left. They're talking about they stomped out and all that, but they left, bro, because it was graphic, bro. So shout out to his daughters, bro, because the next time they came back was when Cassie, because after Phillips was Cassie, because the Spanish officer came first from the hotel. Then the escort Phillips came up, and then Cassie came up next. So I didn't know if the girls was going to come back then or what, because they didn't come back for a day or something. But then remember, Cassie came right up after that. Boom. And the girls was right back through there, and they stayed and they looked at the whole thing throughout all of it, and they listened to that testimony. So not only did he done victimize these people, he done victimize his own kids, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to sit here and listen to that, and they cannot unhear or unsee what they see and unhear what they heard, bro. They cannot, bro. The violence is the this, the that. Come on, bro. The humanity, bro. Come on, son. Come on, bro. You stomping on her head, all type of shit all day, bro. Come on, son. Why, son? Because you was in a place one day. They in Philippe Towers or something like that. They're in a big restaurant that's in New York City or something like that. And all of their peoples is in there. Diddy must have been flirting with a chick that's in there. Cassie says she looked over there and saw it. And she just like this and was sipping her drink or whatever the case may be, because she was like at a table or something, whatever, on the side somewhere. She says that Diddy's guard or something must have saw her and told Diddy that she just did this. Like she saw him hollering at the girl and she just was like this or whatever. And at the end of the night, she said she went into the Escalade. Diddy was already in the car waiting for her. And then when she came into the Escalade, he just started beating her. Boom, 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 boom. And, they got like the captain's seats in the Escalade. So the Escalade got like bucket seats. So it's like, like in the back of a truck, you got those row seats and the row seats. But, you know what I mean? You could update the truck to have bucket seats. So like that row behind the drivers and the passenger are single seats, kind of like the drivers and the passenger seat. So we can be, and they spin. So they're single seats, right? They got the two driver seats and then the two seats just like this. They're called buckets or captain's seats, right? And then behind that is the row. So in between that is like a middle gap. So between the driver's seat is a gap, and between y'all two is a gap now. And then you got the row, and then the next row, the third row behind it, because it's a big ass Escalade. It has the two rows of seats besides the two right there, right? So she said she was getting hit, and she ran under the seats and like scurried her body back up under the seat. Because remember, you could move because the two bucket seats, the captain seats. So in between them both, she's getting beat in between the both of them. She falls in between the middle of the two seats, and she pushes and scurries herself backwards underneath the two rows of seats to shield her face from being stepped on, because he was stepping on her face. Those are the things that's going to bite Diddy. So it's not about being on nobody's side, bro. It's not about being pro this or pro that, bro. You know what I mean? Right is right, son. Right is right, bro. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's going to stand for anything that we heard in that trial. And if you standing for that, is the fool. It doesn't make sense, bro. I don't have to be against Diddy or against nobody to say that. The fuck are you talking about, bro? All right? Diddy cannot stand for those actions himself. He has 4 daughters. Diddy can't even be pro Diddy in that case. He's already did the biggest achievement, which is beat the RICO and kept his money. He's kept his money, bro. So what the fuck else is we talking about? I didn't want him to get a RICO. I thought that the RICO was an overcharge, bro. I told you this from the beginning. Fuck. Never lied about how I thought. But me personally, I'm going to be pro God and pro Jesus, homie. I don't know. Sometimes you can't even be pro yourself because you say you're not going to do some shit, but you end up doing the shit tomorrow. So stop, bro. Don't tell me who and pro that. Stop it. People pro shit because they think they got a benefit of some shit out here. That's why niggas is pro shit, because y'all think that y'all going to benefit in some way from being that. That ain't me, homie. I ain't never had the dick ride nowhere, bro. I'm going to be me, and people going to fuck with me and respect me for being me, bro. That's how it works on earth, bro, in reality. Okay? That's how it works, bro. So it ain't about nothing, bro. Because when you doing some fucked up shit, we can't even be pro that. And we done did fucked up shit in our own lives, bro. So we can't even be pro that. We can't even be pro that, bro. We still got things that we got to fix. And we got sorries to say. And bridges to mend and build and rebuild and all that. We still got that, homie. Everybody has that, bro. So we're not going to look at each other like anybody is different, bro. See what I'm saying? Straight. But don't get it twisted. Jesus and God. I'm pro that, homie. That's what I'm pro. And I like the people around me pro that. Okay? Because these things right here that's in front of us, this face and me and you, son, bro, this is deceiving, bro. It's an illusion, homie. It's an illusion, bro. So nobody gonna run around and tell me they pro this and pro that. Stop. 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 Okay? Because if ain't nobody had a benefit, nobody be pro nothing. Stop. Stop. People are sounding like politicians when they're supposed to be podcasters or YouTubers. Sounding like politicians now, homie. Calm it down now. Calm it down. Straight. Okay? Straight, bro. It is what it is. I kept my content the way I kept it during the trial. Don't matter. I spoke on both sides. Don't matter. Defense side, prosecution side. So what, son? Mom still love me. People still fuck with me. Everybody still rock me. Defense, prosecution. Don't matter, bro. Keep it down the middle. Keep this shit down the lines, bro. Just keep it real. It ain't that serious, bro. It ain't that serious. Trust me. It ain't that serious. This ain't our fight, bro. This ain't our fight. Ain't our fight. Okay? Diddy has some wrongs that he has to right. And we cannot baby Diddy. No one can be baby. You ain't babying each other. You got somebody you probably banging on online right now. You ain't trying to even rebuild that and heal that. And that person probably helped you. And you probably helped that person. But you online arguing and banging on them. So stop, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about right now? Be honest and realistic. Be realistic. Diddy got a lot of healing to do. He has to help heal people, son, by saying some real shit, by taking accountability, bro. You got 4 daughters, Diddy. It's not, bro, you got 4 daughters, bro. Come on, bro. That shit was hurtful to see them there, bro. Having to listen to that. I was there, bro. I was there for 40 days, bro. I was there in the court, bro. That shit was hurtful to me, bro. To see them girls sit there, bro, and had to listen to that shit, bro. They cannot unhear those things, bro. As a father, as a parent, you try to keep your private life and your sex life and all that away from your children. Imagine this, bro. In detail, not the shit that the news was just saying. I mean, in detailed things of what was being said in court, bro. Come on, bro. He done partly made his kids a victim, bro, to that shit, bro. They had to sit there and listen to that shit. Straight, son. Diddy has to do better, bro. And his defense team needs to be talking about what he's planning to do to make it better and to be that better and to do that. What does that look like? If the Diddy's team start to talk more like that, or if they was talking more like that, maybe the judge would be feeling different, I think. But I just seen bravado and certain things from certain sides, bro. And it's more about the black and white. This is not about black and white no more. That was the charges. That was the trial. And I get it. That was the black and white. Right now, we got to get to the real pulse of this shit and the feeling, the emotions, the empathy, and all of that. That's what needs to be shining through right now, bro. And that's the only thing that's going to help Diddy. Besides his record, having no record, that's one of the biggest things that's helping him, because I don't even know if his lawyers is helping him as much now. His record is what's helping him, and him going to take accountability to say, yo, man, listen, man, I'm wrong for this and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I did carry them for my own lifestyle. That's what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? That's what I like. That's what I got off with. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Any woman that was around me at that time, that's how I was living. It was G-Rugs. It was the drug use. It was the lifestyle. It was this. It was that. But that's not the long-lasting impression I want to leave on my daughters, my children, my family, the world. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that ever loved me and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I was living in a way I was, you know what I'm saying? I was violent. I was being like that. I did have jealousy and issues and all of these other things, and I wasn't getting treatment, and I wasn't doing this and this and that, and I did make promises and this and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep it real, my nigga. Cassie already got her bag. If you don't want to talk about Jane, don't talk about her. But I think you should mention that too, because she's one of your charges, bro. So you got to speak towards her. But I think you should speak towards Cassie, bro, on a real level, because she already got her bag, bro. You just got to speak towards her on a real level, because one, you was in a whole relationship with her. So that's not like some chick you was just F on with, some jump off. Jane was a shorty. You could consider her a jump off. But Cassie was his girl, son. So let's stop it. You want to call her CC, Cassie Combs, and all this other shit? That's what you're talking about. He gave her a ring in Moving On song. Of course he done bought her a ring. You done been with the one for how long? But this is a promise ring. Are the promises complete? No, obviously. And that's what Diddy got to do, bro. Straight, bro. Straight. You just got to keep it real, son. This is the place you at right now. Keep it real and say some real shit. He's sorry to her family, Regina, the moms. Sorry to everybody that had to watch this, the public having to see this on display, you know what I'm saying? Da 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 da, you know what I'm saying? Listen to me, but you know, I'm gonna work back, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully that, you know what I mean? I don't know if I ever be able to be seen in everybody's eyes the way I once was, but you know, I know, you know what I mean, with God and with this and that, you know what I'm saying? I know that I can go about showing the change that I can also change, and I ain't perfect, you know what I'm saying? No one's perfect, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm this, but you know what I do have? I do still have my money and things like that. And what I see now is that I could use that to help so many more people and so many other people in domestic violence and abuse. And then he could come up to be a beacon, not to be a beacon, because some people say, you ain't no damn representative of domestic violence, nigga. Look at you. Exactly. But what he can do as a discolored man is step up to say, look at me. I already seen the actions I made. Imagine how much artists he can help too as well, to say, look, son, don't be on this flying out, this and that, son. Trust me, son. This is crazy, son. You'll find yourself caught up. Look at me, son. I was being abusive. I was doing this. I was doing that. You know what I'm saying? Don't put your hands on nobody, da-da-da-da, son. Before you hit her, hit the door, son. You know what I'm saying? I done came up with the slogan, before you hit her, hit the door. That's right. You know what I'm saying? But gangster shit, though. You feel me? Real shit. Imagine how much young people might think to say, you know what, nigga, I ain't trying to get caught up like Diddy. Or, son, listen to that one. Never knows, huh? Never know. Because people learn from lived experiences. And we all seen that experience play out live in front of the world. So I think Diddy got to do, man. You got to, you know what I mean, help some more people, period, but most definitely these kind of men. So to not be domestically violent. You know what I mean? And be able to walk away sometimes instead of being violent, be able to walk away from it, or be able to choose option B or C or D, bro, and not move on that impulse and not do that. You know what I'm saying? And if you have done that, son, listen, everybody can change. Everybody can change. You know what I'm saying? But first we got to understand and admit I was wrong. Say, yeah, I was guilty of that too, son. I didn't put my hands on a woman's shit, whether wrong or right, whether I was drunk or not, bro. Regardless of what. No matter if you put a finger, bro, don't matter, bro. Don't matter, bro. You know what I'm saying? We could be better, bro. But we gotta admit it, so we can be better. So salute to y'all, and make sure y'all subscribing to the channel. Turn notification bells on and make sure you know. All my niggas from the Uda, all my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn racks.